And good Friday morning to you. Friday, May 17th, right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 6 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. How you doing this morning? Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A, trying to get all of the things that were. Producer Adam, the faders aren't working here. Make sure everything's not crackly and oh my goodness gracious. It's every day is a different day here, gang. It's you never know what you're gonna find, and that's what makes life exciting, isn't it? That the day you're like just when you expect things are gonna be just the way that they normally are, and what is even normal from day to day. It switches up on you. So it's like, maybe this is gonna work today, maybe it's not gonna work today. Yesterday was a bit of a surprise. I was gone for a few days doing some business travel. For those of you that were tuning in yesterday, had some stories from the road. And when we normally cut to America's First News for different segments throughout the hour, I pressed the button that sends us off to the news there, and nothing happened. And it's at those moments where checking, making sure, okay, did it forget something? Did producer Adam, did he line up all of the toggles and the switches just like they should be? And so you're second guessing yourself. Is everything on that needs to be on? Did I do everything that I needed to do? And when you do that and you check it and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that in the 2 day time span that I was gone, I did not completely forget everything that I've been doing every day pretty much for the last, I don't know, 7, 8 months now. But it's funny how quickly you second guess yourself when something that you expect to be there that should be working all of a sudden isn't working. So today, talking to our engineers, uh, just texting yesterday during the show, and then a little bit afterwards. Guys, it's not working here. I mean, we can cover it. We can get it taken care of. It's fine, and it's actually kind of fun and enjoyable. But if we have an obligation here to run America's First News at certain points of the hour, we should probably be doing that. So, I the word is it should be working today. It should be working. Everything should be back to normal. If not, we're just going to be hanging out a little bit more than normal today, and that's okay. That's fine. I'm really looking forward to whatever today brings, and we will find that out in about 3 minutes here. What's going to happen today? Whether we're doing America's First News or whether we're just hanging out for a little bit more time. But hey, speaking of hanging out today, a little bit later on in the 7 o'clock hour, Kaben Krammer, he has formed Tenderly Rooted. It's a sprouted walnut small business here in our area. And today is Walnut Day. So, do you know about these walnuts? Have you heard of these walnuts? I think a lot of people think of them as like, hey, yeah, it's usually in salad, or we use them during the holidays. That's usually when they make their big appearance. But if you've not tried a sprouted walnut, you gotta get into these sprouted walnuts, especially folks that might have an allergy to walnuts. You might be allergic. You might want to give sprouted walnuts a try. What are sprouted walnuts? What is that all about? Does it mean they've got little sprouts growing out of them? You buy a walnut and you've got to eat the little sprouts as well. We'll find out what that looks like a little bit later when we're talking to Kaben Krammer, again in the 7 o'clock hour from Tenderly Rooted. And then Mary Jane Pop is going to join me in the 8 o'clock hour today. We're just going to chat about her show that's coming up this weekend. Always a lot of fun to talk to Mary Jane. You remember her show is on Pop Talk in Search of the Truth, Saturdays from 5 to 7 a.m. And then if you miss that, you can catch it again Sunday from 9 to 11 p.m. And if you're like, Chris, either end of that doesn't work for me, you can always listen at kahi.com, audio on demand there for Mary Jane. But hey, we need to find out what our weather is looking like today with meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking for our weather today? I missed Penny and Associates. Thanks, Timmy. What surprise.
Almost nothing when it comes to the technical knowledge required of a heating and air technician. That means they can send a gentleman to your home that looks like
Ah! That's what this song this background song, it always sounded familiar. And today's Bob Saget's birthday, and I was listening to the theme for America's Funniest Home Videos, and that's what it sounds like. America's Funniest Home Videos. That's hilarious. Funny. We got laughs from coast to coast to make you smile. It's a red, white, and blue. Funny things you do, America. Mountain Air. But then that turns away from that. 5 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:05 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your Fox Business Report. Also, events that are happening this weekend. We'll take a look at the calendar. Release the Quackin'! You know what, that might not be this weekend, but we'll talk about what's coming up this weekend. The Auburn Home Show is coming up this weekend. I'm sure Connie will be coming to us live from the Gold Country Fairgrounds tomorrow for her show, the KAHI Corral. All right, gang, let's see what's going to happen here. We're going to go off to America's First News. Let's see if it works. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. It's not going to work. Okay, so now we go to what do we talk about?
And we're here to remind you to get your cancer screenings. Now, we don't have cancer, but we do want to keep it focused. And while you don't have to trace to the doctor, but I like you. But you do need to get cancer screenings. Every year around my birthday, and then treat myself for lunch. That seems like fun. I like lunch. Well, you have a colon, and you're over 45, and you have lung. And did you smoke in college?
Yeah.
Okay, so seriously, Ken, if there is something, early detection can make all the difference. This can be scary. Cervical, colorectal, lung, and prostate cancers can detect cancer early, even before symptoms appear. Because early detection is better outcomes.
What, young yet, Georgie? Not yet, but you're falling asleep. Just in my forehead. You fell asleep with the cheese. Did you fall asleep with the cheese? Only of course, British stuff. It's okay. You're on the TV.
Okay.
All set right here next to the TV.
her rescues who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. It's not just about happiness your pet gets from finding a living home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes of American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years, whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animals starved on stream, or protecting our planet's endangered species. They go above and beyond to further their mission, make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org. Brought to you by American Humane.
11 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:11 a.m. Do you recognize that song there? Chris Quant here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A here in the KAHI studios. Well, gang, we'll see if America's First News kicks in a little bit later. It's not working right now, but that's okay. We'll get our engineers on it. We'll get it all patched up and back together. There must have been a break in the line or something like that. We'll figure it out. But you've got me here for a little bit more today. Hey, playing in the background. Anybody recognize this? This is Enya, Orinoco Flow. I somehow got a hold of this as a kid. I remember, I think it was a cassette tape. Anybody remember those cassette tapes? And we had this fantastic pair of headphones. It made it so real that it felt surround sound, like this went down into your soul. And I listened to this song over and over and over. I don't know what it was about how they put this song together. Anyway, today is Enya's birthday. Happy birthday to Enya. Irish singer-songwriter born on this day in 1961. Yeah, there was something about this song, Orinoco Flow, that just, I don't know, what was that, 10 years old or something, like 11, maybe 12, 13, somewhere in there. And again, my dad finally went, what are you doing? Because I remember I would press play, get to the end of the song, rewind it, a cassette deck, you had to hit rewind and kind of guess where the end or the beginning of the song was, and then stop it, rewind it again, stop it, rewind it again, and I'd play it again, and I'd listen to it again and again, and just kind of shut my eyes and get lost into this song. So happy birthday to Enya, born on this day in 1961. This right here. So that bass, that subtle bass coming in there, and the harmonies. Oh my goodness gracious, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Hey, if today is your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day. It's a Friday, so I hope you have a great day today as you're planning all of your birthday celebrations. Whatever's going on, I hope you're surrounded by a lot of love today. And hey, a lot of love coming to you from KAHI right now. Other folks celebrating a birthday today, Bob Saget. You remember Bob Saget? I always remember him as the host of America's Funniest Home Videos. Born on this day in 1956. America's Funniest Home Videos, YouTube before there was YouTube. It was the last oasis before the week began for school. It was a Sunday night watching America's Funniest Home Videos. All right, we've got the break coming up here where we're going to go to the Fox Business Report. It's weird when that kicks in and it's not coming back from America's First News. But hey, there it is. We've got our 5 minutes here where we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the Fox Business Report. But before we do that, I got to get ready here. It's a little bit different format today, so I got to get back on my game here. We got to shout out some weather here. So hey, good morning to you, Meadow Vista. Currently 55 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 81 degrees. All right, let's go off now, as we do at this time, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Liz Klayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. Meme stocks, AMC, and GameStop are
Okay, it's gonna be a day, gang. It's gonna be a day. Here we go. He's back, and no America's First News today, so it's gonna be a fun one. We'll figure out what we do. Okay.
And Daimler Truck and Volvo Group will form a joint venture to develop software-based manufacturing that will build digitized heavy-duty vehicles. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jim Cosella.
host the best backyard barbecue. When you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting mostly sunny skies today. High temperatures at just over 80 in the southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, about 55 to 60 overnight with light winds. We'll get ready for a nice weekend. Upper 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Mostly sunny skies and light breezes over the course of the weekend. Saturday night, mostly clear in the low 50s. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI.
I put the wrong one in. Whoops.
CRV Sport Hybrid front-wheel drive for just $334 per month, or a brand new 2024 Honda CRV EXL front-wheel drive for just $336 per month. Plus, we have a huge selection of new Hondas with low financing rates ready to be driven home today.
Oh well, gonna be one of those days. Nope, still no America's First News. Yeah, I'll read the news.
How do you define strength? Is it physical? Or is it mental? Maybe it's
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
maybe it's whatever empowers a
have
person to dig deeper, fight
As many
harder,
stories.
overcome obstacles that once seemed
I
insurmountable.
kind of shot my shot
Consider
yesterday.
how much stronger and more confident
figure it
your
out.
children can be. Encourage them to participate in a sport when they go to high school.
This message presented by the California Interscholastic Federation and the California State Athletic Directors Association.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:18 a.m. here at FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. Good morning to you. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in Studio A in the KAHI studios. A little bit different morning this morning. We're going to see if America's First News is going to come on at any point. If not, we're going to hang out together a little bit longer than normal today. That's okay. Love hanging out with you as we're getting started with our morning here. We've got Kaben Krammer coming up a little bit later on in the 7 o'clock hour. It's a walnut day, talking about walnuts. Do you think about walnuts at all? I don't think about them very much unless I'm hungry for a little bit of a snack for them. And you might get hungry for a snack of sprouted walnuts after we talk to Kaben. Find out about what the heck are sprouted walnuts? What is it like to be a small walnut farmer here in Northern California? Also, Mary Jane Pop and I will chat a little bit later. It's our Friday date. We're going to talk about what's going on with her and her show coming up this weekend. All right, gang, let's try to go up to America's First News. We'll see if this works. If not, I'll see you back here in just a little bit. It's not working. So what we do is we just let this play out, and I'll figure out some stuff to what's coming up next. Sports ball. So I got to get NBA scores and MLB scores. And not a lot there. Okay. We're going to be flying by the seat of our pants today. I guess that's okay. Is there a news story here in the Auburn Journal that I haven't covered yet? I can go to the Sacramento Bee. Where's my news app?
What's on your to-do list? Pick up groceries? Water your plants? How about getting vaccinated? We can help you check that out. You've got this. The Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging, has partnered with community providers to make getting vaccinated your easiest to do. You've got this. With local vaccine events, access to transportation, in-home vaccinations, on-site healthcare consultations, protecting yourself and your loved ones is not a chore anymore. So if you're age 60 plus or a person with a disability, get your yearly dose of confidence today. Because we have you. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging. Learn more at you'vegottthis.usaging.org.
You've got this.
Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. This does not necessarily represent the views of ACL or the U.S. government.
Hi, the consumer with a thought about advertising on the radio. Someone probably told you Wednesday was best shot in
All right.
the newspaper. So and so did everyone else, including all the mega billion-dollar companies who take the whole page and swallow your
Release the
great
quacking.
white shark devouring a small cute fish. It's not a pretty sight. No wonder they say newspapers black and white and red all over. The red is from all the poor little ads getting annihilated. So what's the little guy to do? You could hire someone to carry a sign, walk around in traffic, and talk to everyone who passes by. The people probably wouldn't hear them over their car radios. Hey, give us an idea. Advertise on the radio. People will hear you. You'll be one-on-one with me, the consumer.
If you'd like to advertise where there's less clutter, advertise on this station. Call us for more information.
6:22, 22 minutes past the top of the hour here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here in the morning, along with producer Adam. Hey, producer Adam, say hello. Yeah, he's mic shy. All right, he's not going to say hello, but we're here today holding it down with you. Now, a little bit different day today. If you're just tuning in, apparently America's First News went on strike, or somehow the connection got disconnected or whatever. So it's a little bit of a different day. You know how you wake up today or yesterday or maybe tomorrow and you expect it to be the same, and all of a sudden it's not the same. It's a little bit different, but that's okay. We're going to hang out together a little bit more than normal today, and thanks for your patience as I am getting ready to put this all together. Now, it's interesting. I did a little bit of radio back in the day, back in like 2015, 2016, and worked with somebody down in Sacramento. And it was a 3-hour show, and it wasn't national. It was all pretty much local. And the main host of the show, Dominic Brasha, if anybody remembers Dominic, he was a producer on the Armstrong and Getty show. He and I worked together for a little bit. But he would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and he would prep for that show for the entire, he'd get all the sound clips together, everything together. It was really, there was a lot of prep that goes into the show. So it made me really appreciate and realize that if a show that's prepared well and is ready to go, then it'll flow pretty smoothly and you're prepped and you've got your rhythm and everything like that. Now, when you hit a little bit of a hiccup, and I'm not saying that this is like that show, but when you have a little bit of a hiccup, you appreciate how much prep goes into a show if you are responsible for the entire hour. Now I like going either way. Like going to America's First News, that gives me a chance to prep in between segments, and I prep a little bit the night before, and then I'll prep a little bit in the morning. So it's a lift, but it's not a super heavy lift as if I was hosting the entire hour of the show. And of course you bring in interviews and a little behind the scenes, a little behind the inside baseball here when it comes to radio. But it realizes now that when well, if I would have known that this wasn't here, this would have been a little bit more prep would have gone into it, but that's okay. We've got everything here now with technology these days. Like everything is available right at your fingertips. And here's one from an interesting story from the Sacramento Bee. A new area code is coming to Northern California Who gets access to the new phone numbers? Question mark. Well, starting next year, residents and business owners in northeastern California will have access to a new area code, the 530 area code, which includes Davis. Oh, I didn't know it included Davis. I guess it does. Davis, El Dorado Hills, Oroville, Placerville, Red Bluff, Redding, South Lake Tahoe, Truckee, Woodland, and Yuba City will see a new overlay area code, the California Public Utilities Commission said on Thursday in a news release. The current area code is, quote, in high demand, unquote, and is expected to be depleted. Really? You can deplete that by September 2025. An overlay, quote, adds a second area code to the same geographic region, unquote. Starting January 31st, 2025, residents will have access to the new code 837, the 837 code. That's going to get hard to get used to. We've got 916, we've got 530. Those are for pretty much my entire life the only area codes close by that I've ever really had to keep in my brain. To access the new area code 837, and the state agency said in the Thursday news, the state agency said in the Thursday news release, it will require residents to dial a 1 plus 837. When an overlay is introduced, it does not affect the existing customers. New numbers issued will be offered the new code. Okay, so if you've got, sounds like if you've already got your number, you've got 530 area code, you're locked in, you're good, you're great, what they say, grandfathered in. But as new numbers come online, then you're going to have the 837. Oh, that's so interesting. Now, how to prepare here. Businesses and residents can prepare for the change. I don't know. What do you mean how to prepare? Drink a lot of water? What are we going to talk about here? By keeping friends, family, and customers updated on their phone numbers, businesses will want to ensure that all services, automatic dialing equipment, and other types of equipment recognize the new 837 area code as a valid area code, the agency said. Okay, well, that makes sense then. If people don't know about it, if you're have a business, especially if it doesn't recognize that number, you got to make sure that people recognize that number. Otherwise, they're going to block you. You're going to go to spam, whatever. You're going to see what does my phone say when it calls in? Oh man, what is it? Unidentified caller, something like that. Unknown caller. What does the 530 area code cover? Well, we have a list of the areas covered under the 530 area code that will have the new overlay. The geographic region serves Chico, Davis, El Dorado Hills, Oroville, Paradise, Placerville, Red Bluff, Redding, South Lake Tahoe, Truckee, Woodland, and Yuba City, as well as unincorporated areas, according to the CPUC. It covers portions of the following counties: Alpine, Butte, Colusa, El Dorado, Glen, Humboldt, Lassen, Modoc, Mono, really? Nevada, Placer, Plumas, Shasta, Sierra, Siskiyou, Solano, Sutter, Tehama, Trinity, Yolo, and Yuba counties. I had no idea it covered that many things. So, okay, so heads up. So if you're just tuning in, a new area code coming in the 530 region. It looks like it's going to be more for Davis, El Dorado Hills, Oroville, Placerville, Red Bluff, Redding, South Lake Tahoe, Truckee, Woodland, and Yuba City. It's going to be 837 is going to be the new area code. But sounds like if you've already got a 530 area code, you're fine. You're locked in. You're not going anywhere. But any new numbers that are going to be issued, let's see, what did it say? Starting January 31st, 2025, residents will have access to the new 837 area code. And you're going to have to dial a 1 plus there. So if you start seeing numbers or phone calls coming from 837 starting next year, I didn't know an area code could be depleted. I guess it's going to be depleted by 2025. We should ask somebody how the heck that works, because I'm just trying to noodle through in my brain, like how you can run out of numbers that have a 530. Have you reached all the available combinations? Well, maybe we'll see if we can track that down and see what is an area code. Why would it run out? Why would it deplete? That is a very interesting thing. All right, we are about to go to sports ball here in about 10 seconds. So we will cover all the sports ball news. We've got the A's coming up here. The A's are starting a new homestand. We'll also have, what else? Oh, yeah, we'll have meteorologist Tim Root with weather. So here comes the interruption. We'll be coming right back. There we go. Right back from America's First News. So hang out. Back with sports here in just a sec. This is different. And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, May 17th, right smack dab at the bottom of the hour, 6:30 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. And speaking of areas that might get the new area code here, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently 54 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 80 degrees. All right, let's get right into it. Let's get into the sports ball. We're going to start on the hardwood. Just one game being played. We're in the semifinals, and we've got one game being played yesterday. Nuggets versus the Timberwolves. This is in the western part of the country. Semifinals, game 6. Timberwolves win that one 115-70. That series is tied at 3 apiece. Heading over to the major leagues, we've got the Yankees versus the Twins. Yankees win that one 5-0. Mets versus the Phillies. Mets win that one 6-5. But hey, here we go. Here's what we care about. The A's versus the Astros. Oof. Astros win that one 8-1. All right. Well, better luck next time, A's. A's are going to play again tonight. Actually, this afternoon, we've got an afternoon game versus the Kansas City Royals. It's going to be away. They're going to be in Kansas City. Kansas City Royals. That radio start time is 4 o'clock this afternoon. First pitch is at 4:40. So again, A's starting a new series away at Kansas City. They're going to be playing at 4:40 p.m. as first pitch, but radio start time today is 4 p.m. You can catch all of the action here on KAHI, and that'll be a three-day series. So you can catch all of the action here on KAHI on Friday. On Saturday, that's going to be in the afternoon, starting radio start time at 3:30 p.m. And then Sunday, we've got a morning game. Start time is at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. So 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals with the A's starting here today at 4 o'clock on KAHI. All right, let's see if the Giants played yesterday. I don't think the Giants played yesterday. Reds versus the Dodgers, though, yesterday. Reds win, Dodgers lose. Reds win that one 7-2. Pirates versus the Cubbies. Pirates win that one 5-4. Rays versus the Red Sox. Rays win that one 7-5. Back with your KAHI weather right after this.
When you or a family member have been injured in an accident, what should you look for in a personal injury lawyer? The first thing is an experienced personal injury law firm that's actually taking cases to trial. Hi, I'm Frederick Penny, managing partner and founder of Penny Associate Injury Lawyers. For over 30 years, Penny Associate Injury Lawyers has been successfully representing individuals and their families. At Penny Associates, we're experienced trial lawyers, and we work with you to get the best results. Go to pennyandassociates.com or call 800-616-4529.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting mostly sunny skies today. High temperatures at just over 80 in the southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, about 55 to 60 overnight with light winds. We'll get ready for a nice weekend. Upper 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Mostly sunny skies and light breezes over the course of the weekend. Saturday night, mostly clear in the low 50s. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Auburn's department store is McCullough in the Auburn Town Center. McCullough carries all the name brand products you're looking for. Right now, you'll find deals on Hydroflax, just right for spring and summer.
I did get the live stream up early, though, because I thought if this doesn't work, I'm not going to have time to grab the computer.
Everything you need.
Oh, we'll see. 34 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:34 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, well, we'll see. We might come back a little bit earlier if America's First News doesn't kick in. We'll try it. That's the optimist. We're gonna keep trying it. Also, it might be insanity, trying the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. But we'll see what's gonna happen here. But anyway, coming up in our next segment, we're gonna have your KAHI news. We're gonna have your California Ag Report, all of that good stuff. And in the next hour, we're gonna have Kaben Krammer from Tenderly Rooted. It's Walnut Day. Small walnut farmer here. Small, 60 acres. To me, that doesn't seem small, but I guess in the size of farms and big farms, it's a small farm. But still, 60 acres, that ain't nothing to shake a stick at. We're going to talk about walnuts, sprouted walnuts specifically. His company, Tenderly Rooted. We'll talk all about that. And Mary Jane Pop is going to join me in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll talk all about her show. Always fun talking to Mary Jane. All right, gang, let's all put our fingers together, cross them, and see if we're going to go off to America's First News now. If not, I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Nope, didn't work. So we'll let that roll, and talk about Release the Quacket. And then we'll talk about okay, can't get distracted by Instagram. Okay.
You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash. Fantastic. Yeah, the remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But
Okay.
diabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping...
Arrest made after Northern California wildfire sparks evacuations near campfire burn scar. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Authorities have made an arrest after a wildfire touched off Wednesday evening in a rugged part of Butte County. All right, got that ready to go. See how that goes.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness programs.
All right, I got a message for you. Radio is the way to go if you want to advertise. Targeting your customers any shape or size. Radio is the perfect way to tell them who and where you are. They listen at work, they listen at home, and you got them in that car. You've got to go with radio when you want to advertise. Here we go. Watch me now. Hard rock and soft rock and easy listening too. Up and down the dial format just for you. Country classic talk and gospel station. Every market across the land has got a station for your situation. The cost is low and radio is theater of the mind. You can present your information with imagination. If you want to get your message across, get your message across the airwaves with radio. Call them. They will come right over. Remember, you got to go with radio when you want to advertise.
And 38 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:38 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A, watching the sunrise over Auburn here, coming to you from the State Theater here. Love being here in downtown Auburn. It is so cool to be and see the town wake up, and folks are out walking now, doing their morning exercises, going for their morning cup of coffee as we're getting started here today. Hope your day is going well. If it is your birthday today, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. Hey, heads up, you share a birthday with, let me get back over to my list here. Bill Paxton, American character actor. He passed away tragically. Well, I don't know if it's tragically, but passed away seemed like younger than he should have. He died in 2017, born on this day in 1955. Also, Sugar Ray Leonard, American boxer, born on this day in 1956. Bill Paxton in one of my favorite movies of all time, Tombstone. Have you seen Tombstone? I absolutely love that movie. I have not seen that movie. I might need to watch that here coming up again. But love him in Tombstone. He was also Apollo 13, one of the guys. He's just in so many classics. It's one of those. I wouldn't call him a character actor, although he's a great character actor. But he's just one of those guys in the movie that just is there, that just shows up, that is one of those solid actors and a recognizable face in so many movies. What was he? Was he an Alien? I think he was an Alien too. are some of the big movies that he was in. But Bill Paxton, born on this day in 1955. Hey, we were talking about that the A's are starting a series with the Kansas City Royals here this tonight, and then they'll have one tomorrow on Saturday, and then also on Sunday. I mentioned yesterday I just came back. I was in Phoenix, Arizona for a business trip and had a chance to go to a Diamondbacks game. Chase Stadium was right down the street from my hotel where I was at. And when I came in, when we flew in on Monday night, there was an event going on. I said, "Oh my gosh, I bet you there's a Diamondbacks game that's happening." Walked down to the stadium, and it was only a couple of blocks away. Got in, it was like $20. Got in and had some dinner in there. Fantastic stadium food right now, at least at Chase Stadium. Chef's kiss. And oh man, if you go out to Oracle Park though, I mean the garlic fries, you got to have the garlic fries. Our Giants here. But going to Chase Stadium was a blast, and got to check another stadium off of my list. Another stadium that I checked off on my list a few years back was going to see the Kansas City Royals. I was in Kansas City for a business trip. Again, this was a few years back, and I was with one of my teammates. Now I talked to her a little bit about her. She has a goal to go to, her bucket list is to go to all the major league stadiums in North America. I almost said Northern California. Well, that's only a few. But she's going to all of North America and the ones up in Canada there. And so we both happened to be working an event in Kansas City a few years back, and the Royals were playing, and we had a rental car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we should go see a Royals game. And they just happened to be playing the A's that night. So they were playing, actually, it was probably about the same time of year that we were there. And they were playing the A's. And I'll tell you what, we went there, we got tickets, front row, first base line, right smack dab on the front row, $30. $30 to go see a Royals game. $30. I don't know if it's still like that right now, but that was a heck of a deal. And that is actually that stadium. I don't know if you've ever been, but that stadium, it's pretty small. It almost looks like, I felt like I was at what do we call it? Sutter Park now, where the River Cats play. What was it called? Rayleigh Field. I always think of it as Rayleigh Field. But it almost felt like we were in a minor league stadium, but this was MLB. And I know they had the World Series there like the year before, the year after. I'm like, how in the world did they fit as many people? I mean, I guess you only have so many seats, but to be in there and see an actual ballpark, on TV, you can't really gauge the size of something. You can maybe get an idea, but it was a lot smaller than I would have imagined. Sitting right on there on the first base line, really cool. Also, I believe the A's came from Kansas City, so there's actually an A's connection to Kansas City as well. But it was really fun to go and check it out. And also, if you didn't know, now you know, the Chiefs Stadium and the Royal Stadium basically share the same parking lot. So when we drove up, I mean, just a sea of parking spaces. And it's actually probably a pretty good idea, especially with how the Chiefs have been doing. You know, the two teams that play in their seasons maybe overlap just a little bit, but to have a combined parking lot to share not only the Chiefs football stadium, but also the Royals baseball stadium, like, whoever was planning that was thinking, I don't know, it's an eyesore in my opinion. Fortunately, it's not in the middle of something. It's kind of out on its own, so it's not like in the middle of any downtown area. But kind of a really great, no problems parking at the game. So if you ever have a chance to go, is that your bucket list? Is how many stadiums have you been to? I would love to. You can email me live at KAHI.com or call me 530-885-3565. I've been to Giants, A's, Royals. I don't know. I don't know if I've been in anything in Southern California. Padres, been there. So it's one of those things where I'm rooting for my coworker. I'm rooting for her to make it. When she was out here for a team meeting a couple years ago, we went to a Giants game. Just specifically, we're like, we gotta check that off of your bucket list there, Stephanie. So we went to a Giants game. And I don't know, AT&T. I'm going to call it AT&T. It's Oracle now, or whatever it is now. That is a stadium to walk around. That is so gorgeous just to walk around. I think we did like 4 laps around the stadium where you can watch and stand watch the ball game from different vantage points. I think we were actually sat in our seat for maybe a quarter of the game, and we're out walking around and looking at all the views. Baseball is just like that. That's why I love baseball so much. It's slow paced to where I guess if you're watching on TV, it's kind of agonizing, but if you're in the game there, it's a very social game. It's very fun to hang out and hang around and see what's going on. Hey, we've got an interruption. We should be coming back from America's First News right about now. Hang on just 1 second while I swallow. Hang on 1 second because I got to pull up the weather here and give a shout out. Hey, good morning to you, Forest Hill. Currently, it is 58 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 78 degrees. All right, we need to talk about an event that's coming up. That's going to be the Release the Quacken. That's right, Release the Quacken is coming up on Sunday, May 19th. So this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's going to be at Railhead Park. That's 175 Pacific Avenue in Auburn. You can find out more information at auburnchamber.net /event -details /release the Quacken. So, hey, what do you get when you have a bunch of rubber ducks collecting dust in storage? Well, you throw them out of the sky, of course. Now, if you're interested in winning $2,500 in cash and or one of tons of other prizes, you can adopt a duck. Now, if your duck lands in the mini pond, you get the cash. If it lands in one of the other spots, you get that prize that whatever it's designated where the duck lands. Now, ducks are $10 for one, $50 for six, and $100 for 14. Now, hang on, Chris, where is all my money going to? Is this for a good cause? Well, yeah, for sure it's for a good cause. All proceeds will benefit our Leadership Auburn Scholarship Fund and our Chamber Ambassador Program. On the day, there's going to be a barbecue, bounce house, vendors, cornhole, face painting. You need to bring out the entire family for an afternoon of fun. All ages are there. It's free, except for food and drink. You got to pay for the food and drink, and that's going to help support all of those vendors that are going out there. But again, this Sunday, May 19th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. should be gorgeous out there right about that time. It's Release the Quacken. That's going to be at Railhead Park. That's at 175 Pacific Avenue here in Auburn. Again, $2,500 in cash, and you can win that or one of a ton of other prizes. You got to get a duck, though, in order to be entered in to win that. Ducks are $10 for one, $50 for six, and $100 for 14. Again, you can find more at auburnchamber.net /event -details /release the Quacken -2. Back with your KAHI News right after this.
On my show, we tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. Now, with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies.
Dr. Dahlia, weekdays from 9 to noon here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Join me each weekday morning right here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
And here's your KAHI News for this Friday, May 17th. I'm Chris Quant. Arrest made after Northern California wildfire sparks evacuations near Camp Fire burn scar. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Authorities have made an arrest after a wildfire touched off Wednesday evening in a rugged part of Butte County, sparred from the campfire more than 5 years ago. Firefighters made quick work of the ranch fire, a 10-acre blaze that sparked just before 6:30 p.m. on Big Bend Road and Newsom Ranch Road near Yankee Hill, said the Butte County Fire Department, a unit of CAL FIRE known as BTU. In a brief statement, CAL FIRE said that one person was arrested on suspicion of starting the ranch fire, but no other details were immediately available. Officials noted that the blaze was 21 separate fires, but all threats were quote-unquote mitigated. On Thursday morning, crews said the fire was 50% contained as personnel were quote, constructing control lines, mopping up and patrolling, unquote, in a remote location with difficult access. Quote, currently they have 75 personnel working on the fire today, unquote, CAL FIRE said in its update. Quote, we will remain at the scene until 100% containment is achieved, unquote. ATV rollover crash ejects teens, killing 15-year-old high school student in Nevada County. This is from the Sacramento Bee. A 15-year-old boy was killed on Saturday after he and his teenage driver were ejected from the vehicle on a private property in Nevada County, authorities said. A preliminary investigation showed a 14-year-old boy attempted to steer the ATV uphill when it rolled over, said Officer Jason Bice, a spokesperson for the CHP's Grass Valley office. Both occupants in the ATV were ejected, and the four-wheeler struck the 15-year-old boy, a passenger, Bice said. A helicopter helped to retrieve the 15-year-old boy who suffered major head trauma and flew him to Sutter Roseville Medical Center. He was declared dead at the hospital, the CHP said. The Placer County Sheriff's Office, under under which the coroner's office operates, does not publicly release the identities of minors. A 14-year-old boy was also taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, the CHP said. A GoFundMe created by the victim's family identified the 15-year-old boy as Nathan Cavolt of Grass Valley, who died in the tragic accident. Drugs and alcohol were not factors in the crash investigation, the CHP said. The investigation is still ongoing. Back with more news after this.
It's the same day on new Honda for the huge Memorial Day blockbuster event. Auburn Honda all month long. You can drive home a brand new 2024 Honda Civic Sport.
Okay, here we go.
Just $234 per month. A 2024 Honda CR-V Sport Hybrid front-wheel drive for just $334 per month. Or a brand new 2024 Honda CR-V EXL front-wheel drive for just $336 per month. Plus, we have a huge selection of new Hondas with low financing rates ready to be driven home today. For complete details, visit auburnhonda.com or come into Auburn Honda on Grass Valley Highway in Auburn today to save big.
This is Congressman Kaben Krammer. May is Military Appreciation Month, a time to recognize and thank the 2.5 million men and women currently in uniform and the veterans who have served our country. Recently, a local veteran, David Thompson, was having trouble navigating through the obstacles he faced when applying for his VA health benefits. David contacted my office, and we went to work with him. Today, David is fully enrolled and receiving the benefits he deserves. Over the last 17 months, my office has helped resolve over 2,000 constituent cases of all types. And as your representative, I voted to fully fund veterans' health benefits and increase the VA budget by $24 billion. As we approach Memorial Day, please join me in pausing to remember that for 250 years, American men and women have sacrificed life and limb to keep us free. This is Congressman Kaben Krammer. Visit my website, kahi.house.gov, to learn more. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Continuing now with your KAHI news from the Morning Brew. Here's a stat for you. Kids officially cost more than a house. That's according to a report in Bloomberg, citing new research from the nonprofit Child Care Awareness of America, which found the price of care for 2 kids has surpassed rent payments by 25% in every state and is more than double in 8 states and DC. Per the report, a married couple spends 10% of their income on childcare, well above the government's 7% recommendation, and the average child costs their parents $11.6 thousand per year, up 3.7% from last year. Lack of access to affordable care is a major culprit, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said in a January speech. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill that removed climate change from state laws, banned offshore wind power, and relaxed rules on gas pipelines. Samsung released an ad mocking Apple's universally lampooned iPad commercial. Microsoft asked hundreds of employees in China working on machine learning and cloud computing to relocate amid increased U.S.-China trade tensions. Patrick Mahomes launched a ready-to-drink iced coffee brand, the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback's first business as the lead investor. Sony warned tech companies to stop training AI on its artists' music without explicit permission. And the Mirage Casino in Las Vegas will close in July after 34 years on the Strip before undergoing renovations to become the Hard Rock Las Vegas in 2027. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is lampooned, meaning harshly satirized or ridiculed. And that's your KAHI news for this Friday, May 17th. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report. With California Ag Today, I'm in ship.
Like a number of other agricultural organizations, the National Pork Producers Council is pushing for a new farm bill. Chase Adams, Senior Director of Congressional Relations for NPPC, says they feel there's still a legitimate
pork industry, we need to get a farm bill done now, not only for our animal health priorities, which we carry along with our other friends in the barnyard and the ag groups, but for the imposition that California Prop 12 has put on this industry, right? Non-science based.
It's put on this industry, right?
And the concern that if we don't get preemption in this farm bill, if we don't address this in some way, we're looking down the barrel of an entire patchwork of state regulations, and that would be an existential threat.
What comes next?
The concern that what's the next piece to fall, right? What's the next arbitrary standard that we're going to see out there from the state legislature or a state ballot initiative? So that's why Chairman Thompson has been a champion with us from the beginning, that this is huge for the pork industry, but this is bigger than just the pork industry, because while we're the target of California Prop 12 along with the veal industry, the next state regulation might not necessarily be on pork. It could be on beef production or any other livestock production.
Again, Chase Adams with the National Pork Producers Council.
Central Coast growers know just how much damage aphids can do to leafy veg, coal, and brassica crops. But Versus insecticide from KSM makes all visible aphids disappear thanks to a unique, single, and targeted mode of action. Let's get the aphids' response to this simple, effective solution. Taking calls now to hear from those unhappy aphids. Hello? Anyone? Making aphids disappear from leafy vegetable, coal, or brassica crops is easy with Versus insecticide. Always read and follow label directions.
For the last 40 years, the Ag Information Network has been the source of news for farmers and ranchers. Yet we have never seen such an assault on farming and our food supply as we do today. From fuel to fertilizer, farmers are facing unprecedented economic challenges. This is why agriculture news that farmers receive comes from the Ag Information Network, reaching coast to coast. Deep roots in farming and decades of reporting, the Ag Information Network, trusted and transparent journalism for generations.
With California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network,
I'm Haley Ship.
Hey there, KI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris
In the morning.
along with Matt Ray and America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle.
Plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris in the morning with Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
I never miss it, and neither should you.
Did you ever wonder what happens when our time is up on this plane? We'll explore the possibilities on podcast this week. Hi, Mary Jane Crockett. And special guest Michael Linden. Remember the Walton's TV series? Well, she shares her secrets on longevity. And maybe we can solve some of their problems in an unusual way. And can we master telekinesis and out-of-body experiences? It's Jam Pack Pop Talk, Saturday 5 to 7 a.m. and Sunday 9 to 11 p.m. or 24/7 at KHI.com.
The Memorial Day sale is on now.
Save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, sofas, sectionals, dining rooms, bedrooms, home offices, and so much more.
Everything in the store is on sale at Isherwood.
Shop and save big now on the best selection of quality furniture, including Sacramento's largest selection of furniture made in the USA. Nature, you know, the building at the water deal.
Tell them Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
advertise with KAHI Radio, the voice of the foothills, and you'll reach those who matter most, your local customers or your local business. Here's Fred Penny of Penny and Associates to tell you why he uses KAHI Radio.
This is Fred Penny of Penny Associates in Junior, and I choose to advertise AM 950 KAHI Radio because it works.
So call our KAHI sales team at 530-885-5636. That's 530-885-5636 to start your local advertising today.
30 seconds to the top of the hour here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. How you doing this morning? We got a Friday morning together. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A. Coming up next hour, we'll be talking to Kaben Krammer from Tenderly Rooted. It's Walnut Day. We're going to be talking walnuts. Pausing now for station identification. See you back right after this.
CN Auburn and AM 950 KAHI Auburn.
And good Friday morning to you again. It is Friday, May 17th. It is right smack dab at the top of the hour, 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the I don't know what it is. Producer Adam, what is this against the voice? There we go, not the void. The voice of the foothills, holding it down with you here. A little bit of a different day today. We're trying to somehow the connection with America's First News. If you tune in the morning, you know that throw it to America's First News every now and again. I think the connection got a little bit disconnected here. So we're going to see what we've got coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Maybe it got restored for the 7 o'clock hour. We'll find out together. If not, we're going to be hanging out together. And again, we'll be hanging out with Kaben Krammer a little bit later this afternoon. We're going to be talking walnuts here on this walnut day. Do you like walnuts? Do you think about walnuts? Do you think about like maybe during the holidays I'll think about a walnut, or maybe they're in a salad, but other than that I don't really think about walnuts. They're not really on my list. Well, we're going to talk to Kaben. We're going to talk about sprouted walnuts. We're also going to talk about what it's like to just be a small farmer. Now, small farmer, they've got about 60 acres. And to me, that doesn't seem small, but I guess in the size of farms these days, that the bigger farms, that's a small farm, but still plenty of things to do there. What it's like to be a farmer, what it's like to tend the soil, to take care of the soil. I learned you call it soil, you don't call it dirt. If you call it dirt, it's almost like cussing at a farmer. Listen, pal, it's not dirt, it's soil. It's got to get your terminology right there. So we'll talk about the soil, some of the practices that they do to take care of the soil, how they're using a more natural way to do that. Also, where you can find some tenderly rooted walnuts and why tenderly rooted. What an interesting name there. We'll talk to Kaben all about that. So looking forward to connecting with him a little bit later this hour. Hey, and just speaking, there's some fun facts about walnuts. I know this isn't something that we think about very often, but hey, how about this? The Walnut Marketing Board, and yes, there is such a thing, created the first National Walnut Day in June 1949, and President Eisenhower made it a public holiday in 1958. The impressive little walnut is botanically classified as a fruit. I didn't know that, but it is technically considered a nut tree. Walnut trees grow at a rate of 24 inches per year, reaching 40 to 60 feet tall, and can produce walnuts for more than 100 years. I think that tracks. I think with Kaben, talking to him a little while ago, I think 60 years, maybe 80 years is the trees there before they've taken them out and put in new trees there. So very interesting fun facts about walnuts. Hey, if today is your birthday, happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Now, take a listen and see if you can guess which person, based on this music here, it's their birthday today. Do you recognize this song? For some, that might be a throwback there. That is the theme to America's Funniest Home Videos. Do you remember that show? Bob Saget has a birthday today, born on this day in 1956. Of course, Bob Saget from Full House and did stand-up comedy as well. But I will forever remember Bob Saget as the first host of America's Funniest Home Videos. Basically, YouTube before there was YouTube. Everybody, before you could post your own dumb videos of you making a fool of yourself or your friends or whatever, you could do that. You could send it in your video cassette tape. You remember these kids? Your video cassette tapes there. Send them into America's Funniest Home Videos for a chance to win $100,000 prize at the end. I remember my family and always watched that, and we were always. The one that we wanted to win the prize never won the prize. We always thought, what? How did they pick that one? Who was in charge of picking that video? But it was the last oasis of the weekend before going to bed and having to start school the next day. So America's Funniest Home Videos forever in my brain as something that will be a core memory from my childhood. Hey, we need to find out what today's looking like weather-wise, though. Enough of all that. Let's find out what our weather is looking like today from meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking for today?
Just over 80 in the southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, about 55 to 60 overnight with light winds. We'll get ready for a nice weekend. Upper 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Mostly sunny skies and light breezes over the course of the weekend. Saturday night, mostly clear in the low 50s. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
2023 for many people, and especially small businesses, it was a year to put in your rearview mirror. For Homer Insurance, it was a time to build relationships, and right now to say thank you for the many businesses that put their trust and faith in our agency. At Homer,
We strive to be the very best of what we do, and that means saving you money by working with the brightest and best insurance companies in America. Please, if you haven't called us yet, call today and let us show you why we make a difference every day to small businesses all over the foothills. Bonds, general liability, workman's comp, auto, home, and life. Give us just a few minutes and see the thousands you can save. Call 916-338-7070 and take a walk back in time. We actually answer every call live. That number again is 916-339-7070.
5 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:05 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your Fox Business Report, also events that you should have on the calendar. Now, again, gang, we're going to try and go off to America's First News. If it doesn't work, and again, we probably need to get the connection connected back here, talking to the engineers about that. I'll come back here in just a little bit. We'll continue our conversation for today. All right, let's see what happens when we go off to America's First News. If not, I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
That's my son Jerry. But the world knew him as recording artist Juice WRLD. He released 4 studio albums, 9 EPs, 2 mixtapes, 35 singles, and is one of the most streamed artists ever. What the world didn't fully understand was the depth of his struggle with addiction and mental health. At the height of his fame, we lost him to an accidental drug overdose. I'm Carmela Wallace. I started Live Free 999 to remove the stigma and normalize conversations around mental health and substance abuse. I want to ensure that no other parent or loved one faces what I faced.
Go to livefree999.org to find resources and learn. If you
Binghamton.
need urgent support, text LF999 to 741-741. When your mind creates an illusion, it's vivid. When your mind imagines a smell,
The fresh, the red.
it's as enticing as being in the kitchen. You're still watching the radio, the medium that works with your mind.
fiction. Radio touches the senses. Radio constructs the vision you've never seen. When radio is used creatively, effectively, it brings sight, sound, and feelings to everyone. Use radio for your message. There's no better way to get the word out. Call this station for details. On radio, the medium that works with your mind.
10 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:10 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the Chris Hills, of the Foothills. Man, brain needs to get on top of it. Chris Quad with you here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI studios. If you're just joining in, normally we'd be listening to America's First News right now, but I don't know. Maybe it's on, maybe the signal is on strike. It's not coming through, but that's okay. We're talking to our engineers to get that back up and running. So Monday should be a different story. But for right now, it's you and me hanging out, and that is okay. I was just searching online here. It's like, there's a lot of bad news makes the headlines. There's negative stuff out there, but hey, what is some good news? What's some interesting things that we could talk about? And just came across this article. Spiders use their webs as giant microphones to hear what's going on around them. New research says spiders use their webs as giant microphones, reveals new research that shows how the arachnids weave webs to do more than just trap their insect prey. Very interesting. Scientists at Brigham University in New York found that spiderweb silk moves at the velocity of particles in a sound field for highly sensitive long-distance noise detection. That actually makes a lot of sense because it seems like it's the same shape. A spider's web would be the same shape as the big old satellite dishes that they use to listen for sounds coming in from space. Quasar quarks or whatever, like the different sounds. I think it's called quarks that they have. I'll never forget. There was an episode of Reading Rainbow as a kid growing up where LeVar Burton went to one of those giant, and I mean size of a football field, satellite dishes that was just, it was basically, I don't know if it wasn't transmitting, it was just receiving. So it was just capturing like a giant ear all of the sounds coming from space, and they would show you what the sound waves would look like, the sine waves and I think it's what's called sine waves or whatever. But it was very interesting to hear that. So looking at the shape of a spider web, I'm like, well, that makes total sense that it would look like it's that same shape. From the article, unlike human eardrums and conventional microphones that detect sound pressure waves, the researchers explained that spider silk responds to changes in the velocities of air particles as they're thrust about by the sound waves. The sound velocity detection method remains largely underexplored compared to pressure sensing, but American scientists say it holds, quote, great potential for highly sensitivity and long distance sound detection. In their investigations, the team found that the webs match the acoustic particle velocity for a wide range of sound frequencies. So how interesting is that? So maybe the spider detects when you're walking up, maybe as you're walking and you never see that spider web that you always walk through, and all of a sudden you're freaking out and nobody knows why you're freaking out because they couldn't see the web that you walk through. Maybe that's the spider's signal to get the heck out of the way before you come and crash through their web as they're trying to catch those prey. So very interesting that those webs are being used to capture and transmit sound. Hey, we're here. We're just finishing up normally with America's First News, coming back to our next segment here. And it is 14 minutes past the top of the hour here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills, 7:14 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lincoln. Currently, it is 56 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 85 degrees. All right, let's turn it over now, as we do at this time, to the Fox Business Report.
Raised $7.5 billion. GameStop shares, which were rallying again this morning, are now down 11%. The video game retailer and GameStop is warning about its profit and for the current quarter.
can host the best backyard barbecue. When you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5, AM 950,
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:16 a.m. Hey, let's talk about another event coming up this weekend. It is the Auburn Home Show. Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. Well, it is here. It is May 17th, 18th, and 19th. So it is kicking off today in actually just a few hours, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. Tomorrow it's going to be 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. There's going to be crafters corners. There's going to be live demos. There's going to be gardening tips, beautiful landscaping, beer and wine garden. Plus, hey, have you heard of these tiny houses, these little tiny house displays that they have there up on the field there at the top of the hill? Is worth seeing. So it's going to be at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. Parking's going to be $8. So if you're going to park at the fairgrounds, just make sure you bring a little bit of extra money there to get into the fairgrounds there to pay for parking. Also, general admission will be $8, $4 for seniors, but heads up today, seniors, it's only $3 on Friday today. So check that out. Kids are free. Military and first responders are free all weekend. Again, it's the Auburn Home Show happening today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Today, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can find out more at auburnhomeshows.com, auburnhomeshows.com. Again, hundreds of vendors, tiny house display, local contractors, live seminars with experts, DIY project, live demos, home improvement experts will be there, marketplace of local crafts and live music. What more could you want? It is all going on this weekend at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. Again, check out it more at auburnhomeshows.com, auburnhomeshows.com. Back after this. Okay. And 19 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:19 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Technically, coming up in our next segment, your daily dad jokes, but we might be together sooner than that as, we're trying to get that connection to America's First News happening again. But daily dad jokes are coming up, make you laugh, sigh, probably, most likely, if I was a betting man, you're going to roll your eyes. We'll have that coming up here in just a little bit. You can send me yours live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com, or you can call me 530-885-3565. All right, we're going to try. Fingers crossed, we're going to send it off to America's First News. We'll see what happens. If not, I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Yep, it didn't happen. Oops. But I stopped the music out of habit. I gotta find some dad jokes. I gotta get my dad joke book. This'll do.
Over the last few years, things have gotten weird. And for our kids, these things can be overwhelmingly stressful.
And can increase the risk for mental health problems as they grow.
Scientific research and real-life experience tell us that the number one approach to stress is authentic, trusted relationships.
So that's why I am committed to building and maintaining a trusted relationship.
For the students I influence every single day until the entire Golden State can proudly call ourselves a trusted space.
This is a trusted space.
This is a trusted space. This is a trusted space. This is a trusted space.
This is a trusted space.
Find free resources for student and educator wellness at calhopeschools.org.
Hope lives here in California.
The year is 2001. In the Rangitola Atoll group near Tahiti, native divers discover a pearl weighing 603 pounds. In France, the Cathedral of Notre Dame mysteriously begins to glow. In East Africa, the small village of Nwambe is flattened by a pelting rain of chili dogs. In Washington, D.C., 5,000 winged gorillas make a graceful formation turn above the White House. Just another average day, and the people of planet Earth see it all through a fantastic communications medium that informs, educates, and entertains on a screen that stretches from horizon to horizon as far as the ear can see. Radio. Look into it.
A message from Worldwide Radio.
Every day, we fight to preserve magnificent places and wildlife. We are Earth Justice, a national legal nonprofit fighting for your right to a healthy environment. Every day, we fight to advance clean energy. We are Earth Justice, 135 plus lawyers representing clients free of charge. Every day, we fight to combat climate change. We are Earth Justice, and we're here because, now more than ever, the Earth needs a good lawyer. Earth Justice uses the power of law to ensure our planet and its inhabitants have a future. No one fights more cases on the environment than Earth Justice. And we win almost every time, because when we win, the air and water are cleaner, food systems are safer, and public lands are preserved. And we win because these are fights we cannot lose. Want to join us in this fight? The time is now. Go to earthjustice.org today. That's earthjustice.org.
25 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:25 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. Good morning to you. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI studios here. A little bit different than normal. Now, right now on a normal day, we would be listening to America's First News, but we need to get that connection reestablished again. So you got me for a little bit longer than normal. And I'm okay with it if you're okay with it as we're continuing now throughout our day. So happy Friday to you. It's Friday, May 17th. Lots going on in our area this weekend. We've got the Auburn Home Show happening at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. We've got out in Nevada County, we've got, the air show happening, or we've got at the airport out there. There's an event going on there. I should look at that. I should have probably looked that up before I took a look there. Before I decided to open my mouth, I guess. Also, we've got the farmers markets, tons of farmers markets going around in our area, getting that fresh produce. Make sure you get out and get that going on, as well as Release the Quacken. That's happening on Sunday at Railhead Park here from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So never a shortage of anything to do in our area on any given weekend. And that's what makes this area so amazing to live in here. What we call Placer County. Love living in Placer County, El Dorado County, Nevada County. What a time to be alive, gang. And speaking of what a time to be alive, looking at the Sacramento Bee, I know this is clickbait. We all know that this is happening, but will this summer be the hottest on record? Here's what Northern California can expect, again, from the Sacramento Bee. Summertime is about to seep into Northern California, and you can already feel it. That is true. Warm temperatures are popping up in the region, with inland areas reaching the highs in the 90s. We have seen 90s in some areas here already. I don't know if I'm ready for that. And it says, could 2024 be the hottest summer on record? Well, the summer could bring the hottest temperature. Of course it could bring the hottest temperatures. Any summer could always bring the hottest temperatures. We are no strangers to that. In recorded history, though, according to the Farmer's Almanac, the Almanac has been publishing long-range weather predictions for the United States and gardening information since 1818. Really? It's been that long? Its predictions aren't far off base, said Paul Ulrich, professor of regional and global climate modeling at UC Davis. So looking at the predictions for a hot, dry weather in California from the Farmer's Almanac, for its 2024 summer outlook, the Almanac states that California will see hot and dry conditions. No duh. All right. The Almanac forecasts that it will likely be warm, hot, and muggy. Okay, I could do without the muggy. For most of the country, that's most of the country. In the Northwest region, more seasonable summer temperatures are expected, it says. Here in Northern California, we're no strangers to heat waves, and residents should likely expect them in the summer. Of course, we should expect a heat wave. I'm very cynical on this article, apparently, as I'm taking the outlook at this. There's going to be an enhanced risk of heat waves this year, again, relating to the transitioning out of that El Nino state, Ulrich said about the northern area of the state. Typically, in a neutral state, there's a waiver mid-latitudinal jet stream, he said. Jet streams blow wind around the earth, as we know. And it's hard to say how many heat waves Northern California can expect and how high temperatures will get. But suffice it to say, it's going to be hot. We should expect heat waves. It could be hotter than normal. So as you do throughout the summer, make sure you're prepping for it now. Make sure you've got that defensible space. Drink lots of water when you go outside. Make sure if you're outside for a long time, give yourself some breaks, some time for shade. All that stuff that we know. It's getting ready warm out there to start planting. So looking forward to those summer planting and summer vegetables as well. All right, we're going to pause now, right now, as we're coming back from America's First News. And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, May 17th. It is right smack dab at the bottom of the hour, 7:30 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, voice of the foothills. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently, it is 59 degrees where you're at right now. Looking for a high today of 82 degrees. All right, it is that time. It is time for our daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, side. Probably, again, if I was a betting man, probably roll your eyes. Again, you can send me yours live at KAHI.com, or you can call me 530-885-3565. Taking a look at the dad jokes that we have for today. Are you ready for this? Why couldn't the art dealer pay his rent? He ran out of Monet. That's that just tickled my funny bone. I don't know. All right, here we go. I spent all my money on a 17th century paintings and classical instruments. Now I'm Baroque. That is a dad of all dad jokes there. What kind of hair do oceans have? Wavy. There we go. I had a hard time trusting trees. They seem kind of shady. Hey-oh. Oh, I should tell Kaben, our who we're going to have on here a little bit if he knows that one. I have a hard time trusting trees. They seem shady. There we go. All right. Hang on. I got to mark that joke so I remember to tell it to him. Adam, keep the music going. We're not done yet. We've got some more dad jokes coming here. Hang on. I got to turn the page. I have a dad joke book in front of me when I need it sometimes. All right. Okay. What do you use to cut the ocean? A seesaw. Hey-oh. For years, I've suspected my wife of adding soil to my... Oh, I read this one the other day. I suspected my wife of adding soil to my garden. When I asked her about it, she just shrugged. The plot thickens. That's right. We had that one the other day. What's the scariest plant? Or what's the scariest plant in the forest? Bamboo. All right, here we go. How about this final one? I'd like to know how the earth rotates. It would make my day. Oh. And those are your daily dad jokes for this Friday, May 17th. Lord help us. Again, you can send me yours at live@kahi.com or call me 530-885-3565. Back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Like, can you have an out-of-body experience in time travel? What about problem solving? It's not the problem you think it is. Then life after death. Could we return to the source? And what is the source? Let's get the facts. Saturday, 5 to 7 a.m. or Sunday, 9 to 11 p.m. It's Off Talk for Live.
All right, Timmy, you're up.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting mostly sunny skies today. High temperatures at just over 80. The southwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear, about 55 to 60 overnight with light winds. We'll get ready for a nice weekend. Upper 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Mostly sunny skies and light breezes over the course of the weekend. Saturday night, mostly clear in the low 50s. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning along with Matt Ray in America's First News. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle.
Plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes.
Chris,
any questions I should ask Kaben?
Matt Ray, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
I never miss it, and neither should you. My goodness, it's early. 34 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:34 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, well, we'll probably come back together a little bit sooner since we're trying to make that connection to America's First News. Probably not happening today, but that's okay. We get to hang out a little bit more. And then later on this hour, talking to Kaben Krammer. He and his wife own Tenderly Rooted. It's sprouted walnuts. What is that all about? It's Walnut Day, and we're going to talk about walnuts here at the end of this hour. Talk about what it's like to be a farmer. What's it like to farm walnuts? What's it like to sprout walnuts? What the heck does that even mean? Do they have these little sprouts on them? Take a little bit of a break here. I'll be back right after this.
Well, it was fourth period civics. The kids were giving me
The third degree.
was a UFO seen hovering over Washington, D.C. Was a fisherman attacked by a 320-pound shrimp. They'd been bitten by the fake news, thought all right. It was simply all like a driver's ed straight to a steamer. How was I going to get a bunch of wide-eyed kids to wise up about what they see on the internet? Then it hit me like a dodgeball on field day. The name of the game was News Scoops. Each student got an article and 2 minutes to decide if it was credible or a fake. They were able to use fact-checking sites to get the cold, hard truth. Now the little hotshots are even teaching their gullible grannies a thing or two about phony news. But how was your day?
Pretty good. I got a new title today. Office Birthday Party Planner.
Oh.
Teachers just have better work stories. If you want a creative, collaborative job worth talking about, head to teach.org. Brought to you by teach.org.
And it's 37 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:37 a.m. Hey, let's talk sports ball here. We're going to go over to the hardwood, starting at the NBA here. It's in the postseason. We're in the playoffs right now on the west side of the country, the semifinals. Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. Timberwolves win that one 115-70. Heading over to the MLB yesterday, we have the Yankees versus the Twins. Yankees win that one 5-0. Mets versus the Phillies. Mets win that one 6-5. Rays versus the Boston Red Sox. Rays win that one 7-5. Pirates versus the Cubbies. Pirates win that one 5-4. A's versus the Astros. Oof. Astros win that one 8-1. That finishes up that series. The A's will play the Kansas City Royals. They're going to start a 3-game series here today at Kansas City. Radio start time today. You can hear all of the action here on KAHI. Starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon. First pitch is going to be at 4:40 p.m. So catch all of the A's action here on KAHI this afternoon, starting at 4 o'clock p.m. And then the first pitch is at 4:40 p.m. Then tomorrow, Saturday, they'll be playing the Royals. Radio start time is 3:30 p.m. First pitch is at 4:10 p.m. And then on Sunday, a morning game. Radio start time is 10:30 a.m. and game time is at 11:10 a.m. So catch the A's here today, tomorrow, and Sunday as they have a new series starting against the Kansas City Royals. They'll be traveling on Monday, and then we'll be back again at home on Tuesday against Colorado. So we'll track all of that, track all of those scores for you as well. Don't think the Giants played yesterday, but the Dodgers played yesterday, and the Reds beat them 7-2 there. Reds win that one 7-2 over the Dodgers. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more after this.
Already off to the races. Some may see a body. At the NFHS, we see a spike in confidence that will help her achieve her potential. What else do we see? Musicians learning to march to their own beat. We're the NFHS, the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and activities in America, helping today's teenagers develop the skills they need to become tomorrow's
KAHI Radio.
leaders. And we see it happening.
Hey, how are you?
Every single day.
Good. I hear that morning Kaben, I just woke up voice.
This message presented by the NFHS.
It's very radio-esque. You got that radio voice going on. It is soothing. You don't have to have one full voice for that. So, all right, man. I'm going to put you on hold, and we'll come on at about 7:45. I'll do an intro. Do want to talk about your path to becoming a Walnut Farmer, 4th generation, kind of like didn't think you'd come back to it, came back to it, and then the advent of Tenderly Rooted, and also into sprouted walnuts. And what the heck are those? And are they still at the bodega? Can people find them around here still?
The only thing not busy in the car are the ears.
Briar Patch.
They're listening to the radio.
Yeah. Okay. Just if you want to shout out, what where folks can find it. We're just gonna have a conversation, so it'll be fun. Interesting. All right, man. All right, I'm gonna put you on hold. Next time we come on, we'll be on the air. All right. I'll talk to you in a bit.
These 9/11 veterans are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans, thanks to our donors and supporters. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Let's jump back to sports ball one more time here. Didn't get to it in the last segment, but hey, let's talk about the Hillman. The Hillman down Ripon to flush skid advanced to Division IV semis against Casa Roble. I love reading news headlines. I love how we the Hillman down Ripon to flush skid advanced to Division IV semis against Casa Roble. You always feel like you have to have that mid-Atlantic accent there when reading these. Hey, congratulations to the Hillman. As someone would have told Placer High School baseball coach Dave Thompson back in January, the Hillman would find themselves in the San Joaquin section semifinals for the second consecutive season. He would have simply said, "I'll take it." Placer lost, Placer lost several key starters from last season, and entering the year with the majority of its roster lacking significant varsity experience, there were several questions surrounding the team. The four-seeded Hillman have answered those questions time after time and did so again this last Thursday, beating number 5 Ripon 5-2 at James Field in Auburn to secure a spot in the Division IV semifinals. So, hey, congratulations, Hillman fellas. As you're getting through the baseball season there, overcoming the odds there with several starters that had started last season that were out. The Hillman found themselves in a jam early in the game. Ripon scored 1 run in the first inning and was threatening with runners on second and third with nobody out, but a potential big inning ended with a momentum shift in Placer's favor as starter Jason Glatt recorded 3 consecutive strikeouts. So great to see the Hillman there as they're getting ready to go into the playoffs here. Always fun to see what our local teams are doing. We'll make sure to keep you up to date on all that. Coming up in our next segment here, Kaben Krammer is on the line. I've got him here. We're going to be chatting all about walnuts. Today is Walnut Day. Producer Adam, cut the sports music. We don't need the sports music anymore. We're not talking sports anymore. We're going to be talking all about walnuts. If you've got questions, email them to me live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com. If you ever wondered about, hey, what are these walnuts? What are these sprouted walnuts? Maybe during the holidays I have walnuts, or I get a salad. Maybe I'll put them in the salad with some cranberries. That sounds good. But oh, my friends, there's so much more to walnuts than just that. We'll talk to Kraber. Also, just what it's like just to start a small business, their business tenderly rooted. We'll talk all about that. Now we're going to be we should be coming back from America's First News. We're going to hear the little stinger. It's a radio biz term. It's called the stinger. That should be happening right now. There's our stinger. That just is our signal that we're coming back. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour here at FM 104.5, AM 950, KAHI, voice of the foothills. And hey, good morning to you. Let me pull up my weather app here. Newcastle, currently 57 degrees where you're at right now, looking for a high today of 83 degrees. Well, gang, we are in for a treat. We've got Kaben Krammer on the line, and assuming I'm pushing all the buttons right. Kaben, are you there? Good morning to you. How you doing? Fantastic. Well, today, I don't know if when you got up today, if you knew that today is Walnut Day, but today is Walnut Day. And what better person to talk to than a walnut farmer on Walnut Day? Exactly. It's all about setting attainable goals, Kaben. It's Walnut Day. Let's talk to a walnut farmer and see where it goes from there. So first off, tell us a little bit about your journey to being a walnut farmer and where your farm is located. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yes, the next step of the story, which we will talk about here in just a little bit. But fourth generation farming. Now, you guys are up near the Chico area up there. Is that correct? What county technically are you? Is it Butte? Okay, yeah, it's beautiful out there. And having been to the farm, disclaimer, everybody. I know Kaven. We've been friends for a while now. Being to the farm and being amongst the trees. Talk to me a little bit. It really, you kind of have to be there. I wouldn't think that it just seems like a bunch of flat farmland. But once you get in amongst the trees, tell me a little bit about what it's like for you, having grown up in the trees there and walking through the orchard. What kind of emotions does that bring up for you? Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I love it. Mm, yeah. Yeah, and I know that one of the things that, and if folks want to follow you guys on Instagram, they can do that at Tenderly Rooted, and we'll have you give out that information here in just a little bit. But one of the things that I really appreciated that you do every now and again is you just take the camera out into the middle of the trees there and just have it just record for a little bit and just post that online, and it's just a chance to hear the bird song, to hear the wind rustling through the trees, and there is something that is very centering about that, about just being amongst the trees. Is that kind of for you? Is, I know there's the pressures of life, and farming is probably one of the most stressful careers out there. But is there a way that you can just stop and connect it and all that, or does it just become background noise at some point for you? Mm, yeah. Mm, yeah. Y- Yeah. Talking to Kaben Krammer. He is a walnut farmer here. Now, it's a small farm. I think the farm is 60 acres. Also owner of Tenderly Rooted, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. So, Kaben, as you're going about your day, is every day the same or is every day different? I guess, I mean, it depends on season as well. But when you hit a particular stretch in a season, is it just, I know I'm going to go out there and this is how my day is going to be. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. Or I have to imagine every day is a little bit different. What does your day look like when you're out there on the farm? Mm, mhm. Sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I want to talk about the sustainability that you guys are doing as well. But I've shared a few times here that my grandparents had a farm. Growing up, farm it was 5 acres, but as a kid growing up, like 5 acres, that's quite a ways to wander there. Lots of trees, had an orchard, and just growing up, I had a really hard time trusting the trees. They always seemed kind of shady. Anything? No, no. All right. Thank you. I read that a little bit earlier this hour, and I said I'm gonna read that by Cabe, I'm sure he'll enjoy that one. But let's talk about the. You can tell your kids that one later today. Let's talk a little bit about the sustainability practices that you guys do now. I know that you talk about cover crops, so again, talking about the seasons and what you're doing there, and do you use chemicals or what does that look like on the farm there? Mm, mm, yeah. Mm, interesting. Gee, I wish you knew what you were talking about there, Caven. My goodness gracious. Yeah. Mm, Very interesting. Talking to Kaben Krammer, Walnut Farmer here on Walnut Day, also owner of Tenderly Rooted. We'll get into that in just a little bit. We're going to pause to show some love to our advertisers. We will be back right after this.
Right now, you'll find deals on Hydro Flask, just right for spring and summer. Women's and men's t-shirts by Life is Good, Old Guys Rule, and Laid Back. And men's Hawaiian-made Aloha shirts, just right for the warmer weather. Everything you need is all in one store, right here in Auburn, McCullough Department Store, in the Auburn Town Center, right off the bell.
In the heating and air conditioning business, the state of California has millions of regulations. But surprisingly, almost nothing when it comes to the technical knowledge required of a heating and air technician.
That means they can send a salesman to your home that looks like a technician but knows next to nothing when serving.
Sorry, just jumped right into commercials there. So we got about a minute and a half or maybe 2 minutes left of commercials. So then we're going to hit the top of the hour, and I'll go in. Are you okay to go till like 8:10-ish around there? Maybe a little bit before that. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Thanks, man. I'm going to put you back on hold again, and we'll keep chatting. We'll chat about Tenderly Rooted coming back here when we get back to it. All right. Cool. Put you back on hold.
Do you suffer from stomach issues? Shop at Sunrise Natural Foods. This month, all New Chapter products are 30% off, including New Chapter probiotics. Probiotics provide beneficial bacteria in your gut while eliminating harmful bacteria, which makes for healthy digestion, reducing symptoms like bloating and stomach discomfort. Visit Sunrise Natural Foods today in Auburn and Roseville or at sunrisenaturalfoods.net. Sunrise Natural Foods, made with life's best ingredients.
The Memorial Day sale is on now.
Save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, sofas, sectionals, dining rooms, bedrooms, home offices, and so much more.
Everything in the store is on sale at Naturewood.
Shop and save big now on the best selection of quality furniture, including Sacramento's largest selection of furniture made in the USA. Naturewood, you know, the building at the water wheel.
Tell them Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
Hi, this is Andrew Twiddle, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
30 seconds to the top of the hour here at FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Talking to Kaben Krammer here. Pause for station ID. Back right after this.
Auburn and AM 950 KAHI, Auburn.
And good Friday morning to you. It is Friday, May 17th. It is right smack dab at the top of the hour, 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the Foothills Gang. If you're just joining in, we are in for a treat right now. We are talking to Kaben Krammer, local walnut farmer. Yeah, there's walnut farms around here and there. Well, just kind of outside of our area here. Talking to Kaben. Hey, Kaben, make sure I still got you there. Good morning to you. And not only doing the walnut farm thing. Now let's talk about, you're talking pre-pandemic and kind of set us up for kind of like, okay, I'm a walnut farmer. I've got a bunch of trees, but also we need to make this a little bit more sustainable. We need to do something. And that led you to then form your business, Tenderly Rooted. Now tell me a little bit about that origin story there and what led you guys to that and how that actually kicked off. It's a pretty interesting story how that actually basically lit the rocket fuel there to send off for Tenderly Rooted here. Right. Yeah. Mhm.
Stuff going on with her. And then we started sprouting walnuts, and then my wife tried one day, and she realized that she did not have an allergic.
Ah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I remember being there the weekend that it kind of hit, where people talk about the power of social media, and you hear about that, and it's maybe something that you maybe think about in the distance. But one of a what is it, Sharon, America's government teacher, basically. She's got a pretty big Instagram following, pretty big social media following. Shared your story. She's like, I am eating these walnuts right now, and they are absolutely amazing. And I think over that weekend, your 5-year goals kind of got smashed just in that one weekend. Am I remembering that right?
Right? But really, we're going to be living on the farm, all that kind of stuff. And then, really, in that weekend, the equation kind of flipped, and we realized.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it, love it. Now, when you're talking about infusing, we're talking about the sprouted walnuts. It's not just when you taste it; it's just the walnut flavor. But tell me through some of the flavors that you have now, some of the flavors that you've gone through in the past. Give me the most popular flavor, and maybe the not so popular flavor. Like, we experimented with that. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but what flavors are we talking about that folks can find with the sprouted walnuts? Mm. Yeah, yeah, right.
I get all that same salty crunch, but then I'm also eating something that's just packed full of nutrients, something that's just really healthy for my body, helps my brain acuity, all that good stuff, right? So it's that perfect replacement snack.
Mm. Oh. Love it. Right. So good. Talking to Kaben Krammer. How many times? Talking to Kaben Krammer. There we go. Local walnut farmer here on Walnut Day. Also owner of Tenderly Rooted. Kaben, real quick, let us know how folks can find you. Love it. Love it. Kaben, thanks so much for calling in. We are going to go off to commercial now. Appreciate you telling us all about the walnuts. Also, a soil philosopher is what I call you. And looking forward to chatting you next time. Have a great rest of your day. All right. We'll talk to you later. Are you still there? KAHI Radio. Judy, hi.